have some facts about job searching and recruitment. Now, the first one here says gigantic 79% of job seekers use social media to find their ideal job match. Social media platforms are used more in searching for gigs due to its visibility and reach. The figure upscaled to 86% for professionals who are under 10 years of their career experience. And yes, that's true. In fact, that's really true. Half of the time. But prior to the popularity of the internet in Nigeria, it used to be newspaper columns and word of mouth and publications. It used to be that. But the moment we had internet, it made life extra easy. So you could just go on Google and say jobs in Lagos or jobs. Of course, you see a sort of things there.
All sorts of jobs.
It's just That's why it's important to also understand the power, the efficacy of keywords. So if you just say jobs in Lagos or jobs in Nigeria or jobs, gosh, it would be like someone throwing a ton of bricks at you. But if you say accounting jobs in Lagos, or accounting jobs in Nigeria,
you need to be very intentional.
So the keyword, accounting, Nigeria. Over the weekend, I was trying to search for something, and for me, how I do my search on the internet, I do it two ways. Sometimes I just use keywords, the words that are important in all of this. So, for instance, I want to say, why is my hair black? Now, that's a search term. It's a query. I'm asking for data. I'm asking a question. I'm asking for information. Now, whoever was imputing that data on the internet at some point, if they made any mistake, I would have bad feedback. And if I'm not careful, if I cannot do my own research, if I cannot double check, I'll just go hook, line, and sinker with what is wrong. So back to how to search. For me, I like to, sometimes, if the sentence is long, or if it's something that I feel like, I just want to cover as many keywords as possible, I type it in the sentence form the way it comes to my head. What is the past tense of go? And then I leave it there. So it comes up with suggestions. Did you mean this? Did you? And then I'm able to like streamline and pick what I want to see. Or I just say past tense of go without having to do all of that long sentence and all of that. Then sometimes when you're searching on the internet, there are other tools as well. It's not just Google. There are social media apps, LinkedIn. As bad as you think Twitter is, I've seen people get awesome gigs. As bad as you think it is.
What? Okay, right. I know that I'm the one that always bashes Twitter onto your coffee. So I okay.
Yeah, so it's no, I directed it at you.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. So all right, come on. Do your thing. Do your thing. Sell it to me. Okay. So I know there was a story about this particular. This was in the United Kingdom. So this particular young lady, she just finished university, and then she carried a placard around.
I saw it.
Yeah, with her qualification, saying looking for a job, please help. And and that got a lot of attention. I think that was actually on Twitter. Actually, that got a lot of attention, and she ended up getting because she was into our field as well, mass communication. So she ended up getting a work in a PR agency. So actually, social media goes a long way, and I don't underestimate the relevance or power of Twitter. By the way, my only problem with that, your favorite app rather, is that I think it can be quite toxic. But apart from that, it can be no. But apart from that, really, it can be it's useful and resourceful.
I'm coming back to you on that.
Okay.
Next fact.
So we're going to move on to the next fact. So this one says a staggering 250 resumes are received on an average by corporates for a particular job opening. Sadly, roughly 2% of these resumes get shortlisted for the interview. Wow. So 200, imagine you apply for a job and you have to compete with 249 people. That's even a small number. You've not heard
of job openings that they're actually looking for 2 people. I'm not joking. They want to fill 2 positions. They place an ad, and over 4,000 people show up.
Wow.
Then they shortlist and shortlist and shortlist. And then when they are done shortlisting, they have 50 people who are either overqualified, just the right amount of qualification for the job. And then at the end of the day, they have to weed it out to 2.
You know, and this is where, I think this is why this conversation is important, because we need to advise people on how you actually get, you know, how do you deal with these kind of situations. Now, companies that, for instance, that are able to take in 4,000 applications for 2 job openings, they use an automated system to actually filter out. And so what they do is that they look for the computer it's programmed to look for particular keywords. So if you do not have those keywords in your resume or in your CV,
even if you're qualified.
Even if you're qualified, even if you're fully qualified, you would not get shortlisted. So, you know, that's why, you know, when you're looking for a job, it's very important you do your research on the company. You do your research on the job role, and then you add in keywords from the company and the job role together.
That's just
scattered all over your CV, so that automated system picks up your CV and then it moves it to a shortlist. So companies that actually take, you know, that are capable of taking 4,000, you know, resumes. You know, people will think that, oh, they'll read 4,000. Who has time for that one? You know, it's just easy, you know, to use a computer to filter out these things, because they are a business. They don't have time to be reading 4,000.
And even if you assume that there's a human person who would legit sit through all of those resumes, you need to also, in your assumption, you need to also help the person assume that they'll get hired. Of seeing names, badly spelled words, of seeing you know, unarranged, everything is just so. For instance, I had such an experience. I mean, I've been at one point or another on recruitment committees and all of that, that we had to go through CVs, go through appearance, go through what we want versus what you have, go through audition processes. Like, I've done that for quite a number of times. I've done that, and I know how tiring it is personally, and how tiring it is for me to go through resumes. So I'll be like, oh, okay, breeze through. So for me, the first thing I do is I take a first glance.
Right.
Something has to jump at me to make it easier for me. So if something jumps at me, I already have it. I have a mental clip in there saying, okay, like, take time and read it through, because I want to be thorough. I want to be able to read through your CV and know that I'm leaving no stone unturned. I want to be able to read through and not feel like I am sidelining you because I don't have patience.
But that can be tasking.
Yes, it can be. So what I do to save myself time. So sometimes the company will ask you to send your CV to a certain email.
Okay.
Some people send that email without any cover letter, without any introductory piece. They just say, hello, please find attached my CV. So that's where I start. I start with emails that are properly addressed, because I know, it gives me like a window into, what kind of person is this person? If you are nonchalant about an introductory piece, you are nonchalant about a cover letter, you are nonchalant about explaining why you have emailed me, I'll just skip and pass. Some people just attach their CV. In fact, the CVs, they will not name it properly. So, you know, if you have your CV in Microsoft Word, don't save it as Ade CV2 or Ade CV 2021 edited. I have seen things, and then rather save it as. So for some people, it works if you say Ade Oyeyipo marketing role resume. I know you want to get them. So already I'm picking that CV and keeping it in a folder. So when I do this, as often as whatever time I do it, what I do is I open a new folder. As I'm downloading those CVs, the ones that I want to really take time to peruse, I download them into that. The ones that there's no cover letter, there's nothing, I just say CV, or just say, I don't waste my time. I first target those people who are very ready. When I'm done with those set of people, and then maybe I don't see what I am looking for, then I take a chance or a short are the ones who didn't address themselves properly, who didn't say whatever, and then just left it there. Because sometimes some people may not know that finessing, that the act of layering it up to make it look good. However, some people know how to layer it up, but they are layering up emptiness.
Okay, no content.
No content.
Just design.
Maybe somebody just told them, you have to do cover letter, and the person wrote the cover letter for them because, I mean, come on, you know how these things work and all of that. Yeah. So sometimes you have to consider, even if it is a human person reading your CV, you have to consider all of those things. Give the person something to look forward to.
Right.
In your cover letter, let the first thing, you know that statement, that objective thing that we write in CVs, it's not mission statement, there's this word, objectives. Some people will just go to the internet, copy something that is not related to the job that they are looking for. There are so many things to unpack when it comes to job hunting, as well. All right, we have another fact, and at number 3, another did you know fact. It says, did you know that an average recruiter spends no more than 5 to 7 seconds screening a resume? I mean, what I just said, literally. One spelling or grammar mistake and your CV can be thrown away. While 76% of resumes are discarded for having an unprofessional email address, that's another thing, and a staggering 88% resume rejections are due to profile photos that are not needed and nicknames added to the resume. So over time, the crafting of your CV, the rules that apply change. You have to be conscious of those rules. You have to find out what applies now. There are some resumes for different fields, different job searches. They differ from one field to another. Right. For example, if you're applying to be a graphic designer, come on. Let your resume show your work. Let your resume show that, this person is actually a graphic designer. So I saw a resume last week on LinkedIn. This lady, she did a resume like an infographic. Gosh, it was so sweet to behold. Like, there's no need to turn pages. It's just one page,
everything
infographic.
Is on there.
God, it was so beautiful. I felt like recruiting now. Well, it was that beautiful. Now, and so you know that thing that they said about unprofessional email addresses. So you've not seen, pardon my French, X***Y for life at gmail.com or Omotosh 98
or Daddy Sugar.
Gosh.
Daddy Sugar at hospital.com, like, seriously.
See, if you want to job hunt, you want to send in your CV, it would not kill you to open an email address for professional, official purposes. Your first name, your last name at whatever.address.com is professional enough. You don't need to add appendages or nickname and bouncing for life, Yoppy Daddy at G. What's that? Because once I see a Yoppy Daddy and I'm looking for, so for instance, there was a time we were trying to search for lawyers to present a certain show, and I'm looking for a serious person. I'm looking for a lawyer. So if I see Yoppy Daddy, Yoppy Daddy 24,
like,
what's Yoppy?
Who is this?
And more often than not, if you actually take your time, you see a Yoppy Daddy at gmail.com, send your CV, go through that CV. It's Yoppy that you see actually.
You're gosh.
Or people that add their nicknames. In fact, now the new trend is don't add your age. Don't add your marital status to your CV. That's not the recruiter's headache at that point. Let it get to the point of maybe interview where you need to fill in company details, and then they say, oh, single, married, age, you know, but you put it already. So for instance, some people have screened themselves out of job openings simply because they added their age, and the recruiter's personal bias comes into play. And then they see your CV and they're like, oh, we don't want a 24-year-old, despite having the experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Or this person is too old. We don't
So
want,
it's like
the 39-year-old.
Yeah, yeah, and when you're putting all that information out there, it's like you're not even protecting yourself. Like it's it's for security reasons. As you know, sometimes people will put their home address on their CV. Like, are you serious? like you just can't be putting your home address out there with your home marital status and everything.
The home address thing applies. Actually, you're supposed to put an address.
Yeah.
But the home address thing, the way I like to put my address on any CV, because by the way, I don't even have a permanent residence as it were.
But isn't okay? Wait. Okay.
I change addresses, so this is what I do with home address. I just put the nearest bus stop without specifying exactly the house. I'm
guessing the home address is there for if they need to send you a letter or something. But
I think that the world has actually
that's what I'm saying. The world has moved to emails now. That's the whole point. Handle, that's the whole point of an email, for you to get official letters, you know, electronic letters. But anyway, let's see the next one. All right, so this next one, and I'm going to drop an interesting fact after we say this. Did you know? Okay, let's read it. So the average duration of a job interview is 30 to 40 minutes. So contrastingly, the average time it takes for a hiring manager to know if they would hire that candidate is less than 2 minutes. After that, it usually takes 24 hours to 2 weeks to hear from the company with their decision. If you don't get a feedback from them within the said weeks, there's a high possibility that you were not picked. Now, I'm going to use this moment to actually this will shock you a bit. I'm going to use this moment to actually say that actually, you know, tomorrow actually makes it a year since I've been working.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, tomorrow actually marks a very much more important you know, highlight in High Impact TV. But
congratulations.
Thank you very much. But you know, it's very interesting that you say average. We're talking about job interviews. The person who actually one of the people who conducted my job interviews for High Impact TV was actually Yemi Sigbele.
Oh, that's what you wanted to do?
Do you remember?
I remember. I didn't know that was what you wanted to do.
So when I was reading, I just remember that actually Yemi was actually one of the people. So I want to thank you for calling me back and, you know, the opportunity. Yeah, just let's put that out there.
Okay, so you know what I was saying about how sometimes all you need to do is just take one look at a person and in your head. Now, it happens because we have biases.
Right.
And biases are very subconscious. In fact, over the weekend, I was going to do a piece about biases. I've actually done the piece, but I have not released it. Because biases are unconscious. They come from our traditions, cultures, the things we see, the things we hear, the things we read.
Yeah.
The way we learn about our environment is, one of the ways we learn about our environment is our brain picks up patterns and put them together. So it helps us to expect something. So if you see a cup, this cup right now, right here, and then you see a kettle, what comes to your head without touching or feeling the kettle? Now, depending on the type of kettle it is, what comes to your head is, oh, that's a teapot. Or, oh, there must be coffee inside that kettle.
Yeah.
Or there must be hot water inside that kettle. Now, when you get there, the first thing you do subconsciously is to like feel the side of the kettle to be sure, oh, okay, has it been sitting there for so long that now it's cold? Is it hot? Can I take it now? Patterns. Are they patterns? So the moment something changes that pattern, we oftentimes just lazily gloss over it and not want to find out why the pattern changed. And that's what happens with bias. So you say black people like lip gloss. Why? Why is it that black people love lip gloss? And then you find out, oh, it's because their lips crack under maybe extreme weather conditions. Now, the day you see a black person who doesn't love lip gloss, the first thing you say, why? You are black now, you should love lip gloss. There has to be a point where we would actively treat each individual situation as individual situations, treat individual persons as individual persons, and not let your bias run you know, the show. So that's what happens when you enter an interview room, you see 3-4 people, or the recruitment manager sitting there and asking. The first thing they notice is this. I mean, you walked in smiling. Yeah, presentation, self-presentation. Oh, okay, who's this person? How confident is this person? Does this person fit into the role that I want? Is there something I want to see? And I mean, that's one of the things we'll be talking about, you know, when we talk about corporate recruitment and all of that much later. How biases actually run the show if we are not careful.
Yeah, you know, and you know, one thing I would advise people out there who are looking for jobs and going for interviews, I think it's important that you approach your interview as a genuine conversation.
Yes.
Actually, you know, when you try and be someone else, when you're forming, let me just use, you know, when you try and form, or when you're trying to put on this persona that isn't you, it's very easy, because these recruitment managers, they're doing this. Yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. They can see through, you know, that facade of the fake persona that you're putting down. So I think it's very important that when you go for interviews, just have a genuine conversation, you know. And I think, okay, you obviously, what is at the back of your head is, I need to put bread on the table, I need food and all these kind of things. But you know, I would say that if you're looking for a job, to get the right job, you need to be patient. And if you're having a genuine conversation and your genuine interests do not match that particular job, it's fine. Like, move on. Do you understand? Like, and you know, that's why even when you're searching for a job, I don't think it's healthy to fixate on a particular job. You need to have different options. You need to be looking, you know, you need to really be looking at different options, so that it's easy for you to say, okay, I don't want this. This is not for me, but these people want me. You know, so have a genuine conversation in your interviews, basically.
All right, the next fact, we have millennials make up 45% of the workforce now, making them the highest represented generation. In 2017, millennials were more likely to be employed and to work full-time than non-millennials. It comes as no surprise, since we already know that millennials look closely at a company's value. Well, company culture is often informed by those values. Millennials seek a company culture that values collaboration, innovation, and an investment in professional development and the employee experience. According to a research, by 2025, the percentage of millennials in the workforce would have increased to 75%.
Interesting. So fascinating.
Well, I don't expect less, because I mean, millennials are actually this generation. People, older people are, you know, leaving the scene, as it were. At some point, you would want to retire. At some point, you would want to hand over to pass the baton and all of that. So come on, I mean, expect it. But the thing is, when you were talking about you finding out the culture or the values or the reason why these people want you on the job, and you put it side by side with what you are looking for, no, I don't think nobody should have to take a job because of pressure. But more often than not, that's what happens. Because, I mean, come on.
Yeah, economy is tight.
So it's also okay to ask the recruitment manager questions about the company as well. Yes, you've done your research, but you can ask questions like, what is the company's attitude towards professional employees taking professional courses? From there, you find out if you would grow within the system, or if you are just there to pour out what you know and grow redundant. Because that's another thing. You grow redundant, company looks at you and says, we're not seeing value anymore. And that's why you always hear people say things like, oh, I can learn on the job. But in your learning on the job, what part is the company contributing to it, to your own growth as well? Because you don't want to leave that job in another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and nothing to show for it, you know. I mean, but we need to take a quick break, because there is more on Tea or Coffee this morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.